After Bitcoin created a significant dump towards the upside, I think there are two very likely scenarios that are going to be playing out on Bitcoin, and on today's update video I will be exactly explaining those scenarios, what is currently happening here on the Bitcoin price action, what is likely to be happening next, and of course I will be discussing my Bitcoin price targets for this exact breakout we're currently looking at. So without any further ado, don't forget to slap that like button once again back above 1,000 likes. That will be absolutely incredible. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content, because right now it is indeed weekend once again, and Bitcoin of course over the course of the weekend is creating another CME futures gap. Currently the CME futures gap is trading somewhere around 69,500, so I am expecting that Bitcoin is going to be hovering around this price for the remainder of this weekend, because just like last weekend, while we in fact were trading above it, at the end of the weekend we came back to the CME close price before having that big blast off. And if we're going to be looking to the weekend before that, of course we saw that Bitcoin was trading below it, but at the end of the weekend once again we filled up the CME gap before having a massive move. So what are we expecting this time around? Once again, I am expecting that Bitcoin is going to either hover around this price, and if we were to be seeing Bitcoin trade significantly above it or significantly below it, at the end of the weekend I'm expecting that Bitcoin is going to be trading somewhere around that 69,500 US dollar level. But what are we expecting is going to be happening after the weekend? Because right now, for the first time in this entire Bitcoin uptrend, Bitcoin is clearly creating lower highs here on that 1 hour time frame, and we're clearly trading in a significant downtrend for Bitcoin. And like I tweeted about yesterday, I think that Bitcoin needs to be breaking above 72,000 US dollars in order to be once again flipping bullish on that 1 hour chart here. I mean, yes, on the daily time frame, or yes, here on the weekly time frame, things are still looking extremely bullish, but now I'm just quickly talking about the imminent short term, because currently we're trading in a slight little downtrend, and if Bitcoin takes out this high right here, I believe that the uptrend can continue, because this is a very important level where previously around Bitcoin clearly found support, also massively got rejected, and yeah, if we in the future can break above this level, it would most certainly confirm the Bitcoin uptrend is going to be continuing. And more importantly, right now also on the imminent short term, we can clearly see that Bitcoin is creating a downward sloping resistance line, but of course due to the fact that it is weekend, I am not expecting any big breakouts, but we could be looking of course at a potential new consolidation phase, because currently clearly Bitcoin is creating somewhat of a compression pattern, and once this compression pattern is going to be breaking out, we are indeed going to be having a massive blast through either towards the upside or downside. And yes, once compression patterns usually tend to end, we tend to usually see a very explosive price move. So yes, once again, we could start to see Bitcoin creating some massive moves potentially over the course of this weekend. But of course, make sure to keep in mind that wherever Bitcoin moves toward, most likely, like 99% of all the times, Bitcoin tends to be moving back at that CME close price. So if we were to be having a big dump over the course of the weekend, I think that yes, on Monday or at the end of Sunday, we're going to be bouncing back. And also vice versa, if we move towards the upside, we will most likely come down here. And going further in towards my analysis, currently on the 4 hourly time frame, we can clearly start to see that for the first time in this entire move towards the upside, we are indeed creating a slight little downtrend. And of course, identifying these trends is definitely super important for your strategy on how to trade Bitcoin. But currently, clearly what I can see is that for the first time in this move towards the upside, we're starting to see a different structure. And if Bitcoin indeed breaks lower and confirms another lower low, I wouldn't be surprised that we actually could come even lower. And I want to quickly explain this tweet I did yesterday, because I think this is a very important tweet that you need to understand, because currently I have two possible scenarios on Bitcoin that I think is going to be playing out. Scenario 1 would be the maximum opportunity, and scenario 1 is going to be the orange line in this case here. Scenario 1 basically means that Bitcoin is going to be creating another leg down and is going to be having that 20% correction. And why am I talking about a 20% correction? Because actually 20% corrections every single time in this year means maximum opportunity. So I also described that scenario 1 is the maximum opportunity scenario, and that is of course the orange line here. So if we were to be seeing another move towards the downside, it would equal the maximum opportunity scenario. And in the scenario where we're going to be having maximum opportunity, I am also going to be opening up a $1 million US long position here on Bybit. So if you want to be trading yourself, make sure to go to the link description of today's video, where you can get an account on Bybit, where you can trade and also buy more than 400 cryptocurrencies at the moment. And if you right now sign up an account using that link below, you can right now claim a deposit bonus worth of $30,000. And without this link, it's only 400. So definitely it's a win-win scenario. But going in towards my scenarios, I think that, of course, if we were to be having another leg down here, it would be a massive opportunity. But you have to understand that while we are having this dip, there are still massive buys from these spot Bitcoin ETF issuers. So I don't really believe that we are right now in a stage in the market where we should start to panic. So honestly, I think also that there is a very likely scenario that Bitcoin is actually going to be bouncing back towards the upside. I mean, currently, clearly, we're still trading in that slight downtrend, but if we were to be breaking the downtrend, or if we were to be bouncing from this point, I will be doing nothing, because I am already prepared with my spot backs, and it will only take a new trade in the market if I see maximum opportunity occurs. Because, let me explain this clearly, I am a low risk tolerant trader. I don't have to take every single trade, because yes, I have done that in the past, and yes, now I'm just more of a low risk trader than a high risk trader. And if I take a trade on the market, like, you know, if you've been following me for years, I only take a trade if I'm very confident about it. And yes, every single trade I have taken on this channel in the last year has been profitable. And yes, it have only been like 8 or 9 trades, but I wait for the right moment and the right conviction in the market. And that is what I'm currently also doing. So if Bitcoin were to be already bouncing towards the upside, which I would be definitely thinking could be happening, I think, okay, that's nice for my spot backs. I will make a lot of money. But if Bitcoin were to be seeing that 20% correction, which also equals maximum opportunity, like I said, I think it would be a far greater opportunity and a far greater risk to reward perspective to be opening up a Bitcoin long position. Because yes, then potentially I could start to catch these big moves of about 200% towards the upside. So that is what I will be doing next year. That is how I'm going to be trading Bitcoin. But actually, if we're looking right now at the daily time frame, we can clearly see that Bitcoin, previously around getting rejected by the Altcoin, is currently actually getting supported by the Altcoin. So potentially Bitcoin is already going to be bouncing from it, because we're literally on the daily time frame retesting the previous all-time high, and we're clearly bouncing from it. So I am not bearish at all. I think we're actually quite bullish. Only I would only take a big trade here, not because I think it's going to be going lower, because I think that is going to be the maximum opportunity. And right now, I think this is my base case scenario where Bitcoin is already going to be bouncing. So this is what I think is going to be happening next for Bitcoin. And honestly, I think it is very likely that we're about to be creating another gigantic move. And honestly, this volatility is extremely nice. And what we can also currently see clearly on that weekly time frame is that Bitcoin is just hovering around that all-time high, trying to be breaking above it. And in one day, in 17 hours from the time of recording, we're going to be closing the weekly candle. And yes, like we know, last time around as well, Bitcoin, of course, played with it all-time high for 4 weeks approximately before clearly breaking above it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that Bitcoin is potentially going to be consolidating for 4 weeks around all-time highs. I mean, what we're currently clearly doing is just liquidating all the sell pressure in the market to the people that actually want to be leaving the market. And at the point that all the bears are out of the market, that is the point where, of course, Bitcoin is just going to be significantly increasing in value once again, just like we had in the 2020 bull market, but also like we had in the previous bull markets before that. So important to understand that we are currently in the most exponential growth period. And of course, like we know, Ethereum has been significantly deflationary. And yes, guys, if you were to be taking any opportunity in the market right now, I still believe that altcoins have got the biggest opportunity right now in the market, because I do believe that the growth in altcoins is still yet to come. And I believe that many of the top 100 coins right now from off this point can still do a 5 to 10x from off this point. So this is what I'm expecting here for altcoins. And yes, if you want to be learning more about altcoins, follow my second channel, Altcoin Rover, where I learn you more about how to trade altcoins and how to spot the right narratives and trends. But anyways, this is it for me in today's update video. Stay safe over the course of the weekend, because you know how it goes on weekends. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.